Hello there, and a very warm welcome to Channels Beam. My name is Victor Matthias. Compliments of the season, and I trust you've had a wonderful holiday. 2013 may have come and is about to go, but the realities on ground still remain unchanged. From security, education, aviation, and the civil service, Nigeria has witnessed a lot of ups and downs in almost all the sectors existent in the country. Without much ado, this episode of Channels Beam will be reviewing the major events that occurred in almost all the sectors existing in the country, and also find out the predictions of Nigerians living at home and abroad for 2014. I will be joined later on the show by a social media commentator and consultant, Benga Olorunpami. That will be after having an online conversation with Nigerians from around the world. First, let's take a look at other topics that were trending in the social cyberspace for the past week. Justice for Alice. A 7-month-old Alice Osai was allegedly beaten to the extent of losing her pregnancy by her Lebanese boss. The online call for justice was taken offline, drawing the attention of the presidency, and the culprits, Kevin Noin, is reported to have been apprehended by the police. The Headies 2013. Described as the biggest awards of 2013, A-list artists went head-to-head to win bragging rights for the next year in their different music categories. Those were the other trending topics in the past week. Our online contributors are waiting and revving to go. We join them right after this short break.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to start from the issue of security. In as much as Nigeria experienced the very, very backward issues concerning the security situation in the country, I was very, very happy to note that this past Christmas was one of the most peaceful in recent time. There were no incidents of attacks, there were no incidents of bomb blasts, there were no incidents of any violence in any part of the country. I think it's a plus to the Goodluck Jonathan administration for a peaceful Christmas. But before then, a lot went down, a lot of attacks, a lot of stuff went down. But I think that a fair score should be given to the government for ensuring that Nigerians experience a peaceful Yuletide season. But we will not fail also to draw the attention to the fact that issues of security should be handled very well, which I think the government have not tried in handling very well, the way it should be handled.
Right from the moment of campaign of this present administration, some people from heavyweights in the country, some political gladiators, they said that they are going to make the country ungovernable for him if he wins the election. And that is the moment you won the election, you see the issue of Boko Haram. They are making due their threats. And they are actually making that part of the country ungovernable for him. So these are the things that I try to put down. And you see, if you look critically into this, you see that this man is trying to inculcate all the various sectors of the economy to come to the limelight. You go to agriculture, you see the issue of fertilizer scam and all that, and he has solved that problem. This is the only one man that has been able to privatize the power sector successfully and openly as well. So taking a critical look on this present administration, the man is doing perfectly everything he can do, humanly possible, to move the country forward. But the forces, which is the political gladiators, they are the ones actually pulling the country backward and making it look as if nothing is happening. They propagate false video here and there, making the present administration look bad. If you ask me, this present administration is one of the best government that Nigeria have ever had. In terms of transparency, in terms of freedom of the press, in terms of freedom of political association, under administration, nobody has been able to criticize a sitting president the way that this man has been criticized, and he accepted wholeheartedly. He don't try to witch hunt anybody for expressing their view.
In any serious nation, in the 21st century that we live now, that is like a globalized knowledge economy that will allow its citizens or the future of its nation to stay back at home for about 3, 4, or 5 months. And simply because the government refused to meet up its earlier agreement they had with the ASU, that was about 4 or 5 years ago. In fairness to this administration, the agreement wasn't held under this administration, if I'm correct. I think it was during Obasanjo regime. But that aside, I mean, the amount that ASU are demanding is quite it's quite small, compared to so much resources that are not accountable.
All right, Sulaiman, thanks for your comments. So we're just going back before we continue. We have a new caller on the hangar. We have Blossom Nadim. She's calling from Abuja in Nigeria. Blossom, thanks for joining the hangout, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Victor. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Blossom, we'll get back to you. Before you came, the hangout has started, and there was a lot of comments that were made that got some people giggling. Perkins, most especially, and Rosawo, who had to pick up his bio to jot down those comments, and I am sure he has something to say on those comments that were made by Hannibal. Rosawo, good afternoon, and thanks for joining the hangout once again. What are your comments?
Relatively, on security, less attacks, less, as the government, as everybody may say it, Christmas, no bad news, whatever. But the insurgents is being contained. The question is where, within which area. So you still have the attacks at the barracks and stuff, which the government needs to focus on and find out a solution to it. But the issue is multi-layered, as I said. You don't fight ideology with guns only. So this is a serious issue, and Nigeria needs to address the issue within the context of an increasing young population.